This time I'm in a place with some great cities, stunning scenery, crystal blue waters, plenty of history, and it's also one of the smallest countries in Europe. Welcome to Malta. Get ready for some impressive architecture, plenty of sea views, and a chilled out atmosphere. And I'm starting the trip in the nation's capital, Valletta. Valletta is the capital of Malta and the smallest capital in the EU, but don't let its size put you off, as this place punches well above its weight. It's a colourful, vibrant and very friendly place. Okay, so this is Valletta. It is a beautiful little city. Even though it's small, it's still got plenty to see and do. It's got loads of historical sites, so plenty to check out. It's also got some great views over the harbour if you go to the walls, and it's also got really cool bars and restaurants too. So it's a perfect place just to walk around, chill out and relax. I like it. As I said, Valletta has loads to see and many sights, one of which is St. John's Cathedral. This ornate cathedral has some impressive paintings and is decorated beautifully. It's around €15 to get in, so you may want to give it a miss if you're on a tight budget, but it's worth a visit. And also don't get it confused with St. Paul's Cathedral, which is the famous dome seen on the skyline of Valletta. St. Paul's, in my opinion, is beautiful too, but with a more simple charm. From the nation's history, there are lots of forts, museums and historical sites to visit, as well as the Grand Master Palace, although this was closed for refurbishment when I visited. Expect to see lots of great architecture when you're in the city, with many colourful buildings, with a range of features and interesting styles to see, and plenty of beautiful public squares too, perfect for just relaxing and watching the world go by. Another two sites that I liked were the upper and lower Baraka gardens, perfect just to chill out in on a sunny day, and I also love the walls of the city too, with some great views from up high. Valletta to me is a great place just to chill in, grab a nice coffee or something a bit stronger maybe, and just enjoy the atmosphere in one of the city's many bars and restaurants. So talking of bars and restaurants, it's got loads of cool streets such as this one, so let's go and get a drink and chill out. There are loads of bars and restaurants, all with a nice vibe and friendly staff, from cocktail bars to pubs, fine dining to takeaways, and many places selling a range of Maltese dishes. You'll be spoilt for choice. The next day I headed to check out more of the island and visited some of the coast on the north, and it's safe to say that Malta has some stunning coastline. It's a popular diving spot too. There are lots of coastal options, from larger busy resorts to quiet coastal stretches where you can get away from it all and avoid the crowds. However, soon after I stumbled across Medina and Rabat. These places are nowadays almost one of the same, with Rabat adjoining Medina, and Medina being once the old capital of Malta. I started by checking out Rabat. So this is Rabat, which is next to Medina. So Medina is like the old little wall town, and Rabat is next to it. Dog barking behind me. But Rabat is quite a nice place too, just to kind of come look around. It's got loads of little kind of streets and alleyways, and some nice bars and restaurants too, but the architecture is very nice. Beautiful little place, so if you go and see Medina, come and see Rabat too. Now, Medina is an old fortified town which is steeped in history, as it was once the capital of Malta until 1530. It's got loads of old buildings which are hundreds of years old and have many stories to tell. The fortified town has plenty of small and narrow streets too to lose yourself in. And don't forget the views when you visit as well. You can see over large parts of the island here from the old walls. However, not long after I got to Medina, the heavens opened. So the weather in Malta is normally pretty good. However, I've just been caught in a massive downpour. So yeah, if you're coming in September or later on in the season, be wary, it may rain. Now, if you're wondering where I stay whilst in Malta, I base myself in the popular resort town of Sliema. For me, the location was perfect, as Sliema sits just over the harbour from Valletta, with easy access via the Sliema ferry, which only costs a few euros for a return ticket and takes around 5 minutes or so to cross the harbour. Sliema has good access to public transport as well, so it's easy to get around to other parts of the island. It's a pretty built up place, but has a wide choice of shops, bars and restaurants, as well as many hotels. There's no sandy beaches as such in Sliema, but you can access the sea via the rocks, which many people do. For me, it was a great location for checking out Malta. Okay, so it's an early start today because this morning I'm going on a boat. That's right, today I took a boat tour from Sliema to check out the island of Gozo, which sits to the northwest of Malta and is part of the Maltese archipelago. As well as Gozo, the tour I opted for covered the Blue Lagoon and the island of Camino. As I was only in Malta for a few days, a trip covering so much seemed like a great idea at the time. However, the boat was pretty rammed, and after we got to Gozo, we were also packed into a fleet of uncomfortable minibuses to go and view some of the sights of the island. The first stop was to Victoria, which is the capital of Gozo, but with only 1.5 hours, we didn't have much time to see it all. Victoria is a nice place, with the main attraction being the Citadel. However, as I was limited for time, I opted just to wander around the place to get a feel for it. I also was getting a bit hungry by now, so opted for a quick snack of some local Maltese cuisine. So if you're in Malta, then the local cuisine is these things. It's a little bit like a kind of pasty back in the UK. The traditional one has got cheese in it, but you can also get one made out of peas, and this one is a chicken one. But they're really tasty and really cheap as well, so if you want a quick bite to eat, you can grab one of these. I think they're called patisseries. Patisserie? Patisserie. Anyway, Maltese pasty. And if you're wondering, the correct way to say it is pastizzi. Next, it was back onto the minibuses for our next stop, where we had just under 45 minutes to take a look at two other highlights of Gozo, the inland sea and the Blue Hole. After heading back to the port, it was time to leave Gozo and head to one place I was really looking forward to seeing, the island of Camino and the Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon is a really beautiful place with spectacular blue waters. The island of Camino is a really nice place too, and the tour did show us some close-ups of the caves of Camino on our approach, which was great. However, don't let the nice drone shots shelter you from the truth that this place gets very busy with tourists, and I can see why, as it's an incredible place. Okay, so this is the Blue Lagoon. It is an absolutely stunning place. It is beautiful. The water is crystal clear, the view is amazing. It is great. It is full of people, I must admit. It is rammed full of people, and it is September. And COVID's still about. But it is very, very busy, so if you kind of spoils it a little bit, but I can't say anything, I'm visiting it myself. Yeah, just be aware that it might be full of people. I think if you came here earlier in the day, it would be much better. My tour arrived mid-afternoon and we only had around an hour to check it out, which I don't think is long enough, especially if you want to walk around the island too. The tour I was saw wasn't exactly what I understood it was going to be, and on reflection I should have looked into this more before booking, so learn from my mistake and make sure you check out any tour fully. There are loads of tours available, but I'd advise not to try and cram Gozo and Camino into one day. Instead, see them both separately, as it can be a very tiring day to try and see everything in one go. I'd also explore Gozo under my own steam rather than on a tour. Unfortunately, by now my visit to Malta was drawing to a close and it was soon time to fly home. So it's time to leave Malta, but I have had a great time. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a great little island. For me, it's the kind of place I'd come just to kind of chill out for a bit if I wanted a bit of downtime. It's got quite a few things to do and to see, but I just love the atmosphere. It's just chilled out and relaxed. You can just come and grab a drink, grab a coffee, grab a beer, or just go for a walk. But I really like it. It's a really, really great place. A little bit touristy in parts, so if you come in here, just make sure you kind of know what you want to do and what you want to see, and just kind of check out some of the packages. Like when I went to the Blue Lagoon, it wasn't the best kind of tour boat, I thought, so just make sure that you aren't going to get ripped off. But it's got some great scenery and it's an excellent place, so would recommend, and I'll definitely be back. That's it from me. I hope you liked my video on Malta. Remember to give me a like and a subscribe if you did. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.